Logan is the third and final film featuring the X-Men character Wolverine, and it is the final performance of Hugh Jackman as the character Wolverine. The story takes place in the year 2029. All mutants are pretty much gone, with the exception of Wolverine, Professor X, and Caliban, played by Stephen Merchant. Wolverine and Caliban are trying to look after Professor X. Logan, he's living a really quiet life, he's really down in the dumps, his healing powers have degenerated over time, so he's not healing as fast as he used to, and then one day this little girl arrives, and she's got some kind of special abilities, so Logan and Professor X must escort this girl to safety from the bad guys who want her for one reason or another, which I'm not going to spoil. One thing you need to know before hearing my thoughts on this film is that I'm not an X-Men know-it-all. I've only seen a few of the X-Men films. I've only seen First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Deadpool in terms of the X-Men franchise of movies. So going into Logan, I didn't have that X-Men Wolverine attachment that a lot of other people have. I just wanted a good film, and boy, did I get a good film. You know when you saw that first trailer with the Johnny Cash song behind it and you're like, wow, this looks like an independent film of sorts? That's what the film feels like. Even though I love comic book films, I do realise that every now and again they do have to change it up. Like Deadpool that came out last year, I felt was a nice change of pace for comic book films because it was the first rated R comic book film in a while, and it had the meta humour as well. I felt it was a really good refreshment in the comic book genre. And now we have Logan, which, like I said, for the most part does not even feel like a comic book film. It feels like an independent production. But it's not just that, it's also the fact that Logan takes its time with its characters and its story. It's a completely character and story driven film. It doesn't rely on big special effects set pieces, it doesn't rely on your typical blockbuster action stuff to get you into it. It relies on the story and the characters, and it wants you to get invested into these characters, and I for one got invested into the characters. Hugh Jackman was really good in this film. He gave such a nuanced performance. You can tell there's so much going on under the surface, there's so many internal feelings that he has, but he's not letting them out because he's Wolverine and he'll just tell you to F off if you try and even talk to the guy. But you do feel bad for Wolverine in this film because his healing powers are degenerating. Every time he gets shot, he's taking longer to heal up, kind of like in The Wolverine. But it's a lot better in this film than in that film because it's happening naturally and you care about it more because it wasn't taken away from him. It's just happening naturally over time. He's getting older and he's just getting more and more hurt the older he gets. But let's talk about this girl for a second because she is a straight up bad ass. When she throws down and when she's battering people with her claws, she is awesome. I mean, she's just jumping left and right, she's jumping all over the place, she's flipping, she's putting claws through faces. She is an awesome character. But the girl who plays her was actually a really good actress. She has very limited dialogue, but you can just tell exactly what she's thinking just by her facial expressions, and she was really great in this film. 2016 was really good for young child performances, and this girl kicks off 2017's young child performances with a huge bang. Did the R rating help this movie? Yeah, it added a lot of awesome badassery to it. I really do mean that. When Logan and this girl get their claws out and they start shredding through guys, blood, guts, everything's spilled, there's arms chopped off, heads are decapitated, claws are going through faces, it is awesome. I was smiling from ear to ear in those scenes. I found the film to be a little bit predictable in parts, like scenes were set up and I was like, okay, I can tell where this is going to go, and it went where I thought it was going to go, and sometimes I could tell what the next line of dialogue was going to be in a certain conversation based on the last line of dialogue. And the film does slow down a little bit in the second act, but the stuff that happens in the second act does have meaning and purpose behind it. But overall guys, I really enjoyed Logan. It was such a nice refreshing change of pace for comic book films, for it to rely on story and characters and for you to get invested into the characters, for it to drive the film along, and it works like a champ. I was so invested into the character of Wolverine, I was invested into him and this girl on their journey to go and get away from the bad guys. The film had a really good independent feel to it, not relying on the big action set pieces for it to be entertaining and for it to be a good movie. But again, when the action does go down, when Wolverine and this girl are killing guys with their claws, like I said, I was just smiling because it was some bloody awesomeness. I'm going to give Logan a strong 4 out of 5. Thank you very much for watching the video as always guys. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Logan and what is your favourite X-Men universe film so far? Let me know all that stuff in the comments below, and if you want to see more of my stuff, click on one of these links and I'll see you all in the next video.